Hey, what's poppin'? So, okay, I did not intend to get into a Twitter debate today. I really didn't. I just wanted to talk about something that is actually visually a fact. If you are on Stadia right now, whether it's because I give you the link in the description so you can get 60 days, 30 days more than what Stadia will give you if you just go there through them, I give you 30 more days for free with my link in the description. I have been signed up for Stadia Pro for well over 1 year now. The machine's only 2 years. I just got it last December. And it's only a year and a couple of weeks. Don't get too crazy with, oh, he said he's been there for over a year, but it's only been a year and a couple of weeks. Still over a year, okay? Get over it. For some reason, when I talk about Stadia, the most I don't want to say they're the most incompetent people on the planet, because some of them make good points, but some of them don't understand that when I voice my opinion or when I say something about Stadia, it's from my perspective of what I've been dealing with and how I myself have interacted with Stadia. This is in no way meaning to be a broad spectrum thing. However, what I had said today on my Twitter, which again, the link will be in the description. So if you want to follow me on Twitter and you want to see some of the spats that I get into, or you want to see what I'm talking about or what's going on, feel free to click the link in the description. Follow your boy. All that good stuff. Again, Stadia's in the description as well. So what happened for this person to lose their shit? Well, I happened to make a comment on the fact that Stadia right now, if you go under the on-sale selection of video games, there's two games. There's two games. 1, 2. That is what I mean. 1, 2. There are two games. No more, no less. And if you're a Stadia Pro member, one of the games you already own, meaning that technically there's only one video game in Stadia's on sale part in the Stadia store that is physically on sale. I happen to mention this, and holy shit, if it didn't bring the dumbest of the dumb out. Because his rebuttal to it was, you're late again, considering last week Stadia had 103 games on sale. My rebuttal was, that is nothing to brag about, as Nintendo had 1,200 games on sale last week and Xbox had about 800. Stadia having 103 games versus these other consoles having close to, if not over, 1,000 games on sale at one time, says that Stadia needs more content. I'm not saying the content that is there isn't good. I'm saying the amount to make Stadia a competitor is very low. Stadia cannot compete. Nothing that Stadia is doing is making them really even remotely relevant. And my griefs with Stadia are very valid. Mafia 3 plays like trash. It is garbage through Stadia. I don't know if it's because it's a 2K game. I don't know if it's because it's just an incompetent version of the game and Stadia doesn't know it. I don't know what it is, because it's not only a Mafia 3 that I have issues with. I have issues with Darksiders 2 as well. That's right. Another game from a console generation, a little on the old side. Dark Souls 2 was on the Nintendo Switch. It's on the Nintendo Wii U. I'm pretty sure it's on the 360 and PS3, as well as the PS4 and the Xbox One. This is an older game. This is not a very new game, but it plays like shit on Stadia, at least from my experience. I have recorded game footage of that game playing like shit on this channel. Okay? There's even times where games have crashed during a stream, cutting my stream off, because again, it's just, You can say, oh, it's the internet connection. You can blame that all you want, but here's the thing. I myself am the only one on my Wi-Fi. So when I'm on Google Stadia, I know the strength of my Wi-Fi because everything is turned off so that I can have all my internet going to using Stadia at that moment. So I'm not necessarily disrespecting Google Stadia by saying Google Stadia is in desperate need of more content. I'm actually trying to help Google Stadia. I myself have been subscribed to Pro, meaning I'm paying them $10 a month for over a year now. Okay? That's right. My actual payments for Stadia is oddly weird. So I've been subscribed longer than I've actually, you know what I'm saying? So my point to that is the games that I have acquired are more than what's offered in the store. And a lot of you who have Google Stadia, who play on Google Stadia, the problem with y'all is that you cannot differentiate between what you personally own through Stadia and what Stadia offers in their stores. What Stadia offers in the store, if you've been subscribed to Stadia for 6 months, you basically have the same amount of content Stadia has for sale or even just remotely in their online store. They don't offer that many games. I'm sorry, but just imagine PlayStation or Xbox offering the same low amount of content. And before you say anything else, I need you to understand, I just watched this past holiday season sales. The fire sale for Thanksgiving, Black Friday to Cyber Monday was the exact same sale for fucking Christmas, the 2 weeks before Christmas sale, which was the exact same sale as the New Year's sale that just ended. In fact, it's still going on Xbox, but it's the exact same sale minus one or two games. But it's the exact same sale. All the major titles are there. Okay? For instance, I saw Cuphead on sale back on Black Friday. Well, the New Year's sale on Xbox still has Cuphead on it. It's the same game. What is it? Assassin's Creed 3 at its lowest was like $25. It's $25 right now, and it was $25 in November. Okay? I'm not saying that Stadia, if you are subscribed through the Pro membership, that you can't get a decent amount of games. Any console that you are subscribed to, whether it's games with gold, whether it's PlayStation Plus games, whether it's Stadia Pro games, over time, your collection of games grows. I have been a Games with Gold member since the 360. I have close to 200 and something games on my Xbox One. Did I pay for all of those? No. I paid for probably 25 of the games that I have digitally on Xbox because of Games with Gold. Do you not understand the difference here? Just because I have 200 games through the service Games with Gold does not mean that if I let the Games with Gold subscription go, that I'm going to have over 200 fucking games. It means that if I turn the subscription back on, I got 200 plus games. But if I don't, chances are is I have closer to 25 to 30 fucking games. And when I am buying a game from Microsoft, when they're having a fire sale, I'm not purchasing the games that were given to me with Games with Gold. Just like with Stadia Pro, when they have a Stadia sale and you go to the Stadia sale and you buy the game, it says claimed or purchased. So if I get a game through Stadia Pro and it happens to go on sale, guess what? I'm not purchasing that particular game because one, it kind of won't even let you do it without having to go and say you're buying it as a gift or something, because they gave it to you for free and there's really no need for you to spend the money on it. So just because over time your personal library of games with Stadia has grown, which is what it does not mean the games that Stadia currently has in its storefront is a respectable amount. It is not. It has never been a respectable amount. I'm sorry to upset you, but that's just facts. Just because you can have 200 games on Google Stadia in your personal library does not mean that when Stadia puts 103 supposed games on sale, that 103 actual games are on sale. You do realize that there was, I think, 35 on sale markers for Dead by Daylight because of all the DLC packages, right? That doesn't mean there's 30 games on sale. That means there's one game and a whole lot of expansion pass, a whole lot of DLC, a whole lot of add-ons. That's the bulk of Stadia. If you go and purchase Beyond Light from Destiny 2, you're buying an add-on. You're not buying Destiny 2. You're buying Beyond Light. If you want to play Destiny 2, but you don't want to play any of the expansions, you can do that. Destiny 2 is free. It is free to play and free to access on Google Stadia, even without the Pro membership. It is a free game. But if you go on Stadia Pro on sale and see Destiny 2 Beyond Light, you're buying the add-on. That is not the game. And I really don't think there's a lot of people on Stadia that can actually defer the two. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying you do realize the difference between buying Doom Eternal and Doom Eternal God add-on, I think is what it's called, like God mode or something. It's an add-on pack. That's not the game. That's the add-on. The game is separate. But you see Doom Eternal, and Doom Eternal has 7 different slots because there's the game plus 6 add-ons. You think that's 6 games. It's one game and add-ons. Okay? If they had 103 slots of games, it was probably every single fucking game Stadia owned, and that's if they were actual games. And I'm sorry, but even at 103, that is fucking pathetic. And I understand it's Google's fault. They don't know whether they want to be a service like Game Pass or a cloud-based actual core console. They don't know because they haven't made it clear. But if you actually are on Stadia and you use Stadia, you understand that this is an actual cloud-based console. That's what it is. It's a cloud-based console. It's like PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo without the need of a plastic box. I 100% do not like the way they handle the content that comes to Stadia. Stadia does not need to rotate games in and out of the store. They need to always be adding content, never taking content away. Okay? Someone had said in the tweet, on the Twitter back and forth we had, that games that come to Stadia never leave. No, games get rotated in and out of the store. The games that never leave are the games in your personal portfolio file through Stadia. They are not going to take your games away after you paid for them. There is a big difference between what you personally own through Stadia and what Stadia has in their online store. This is where I gave up on this guy completely. Because anybody who's anybody knows this. The only game that will never leave Stadia is Guilt. And that is because Stadia has Guilt as an exclusive. And I have said before that the exclusivity deal with Stadia for Guilt actually hurt Guilt more than helped, because I believe if Guilt would have been able to go to Switch, if it would have been able to be on PS4, even Xbox One, that game would have performed much better. And it's not saying Stadia is horrible, it's just the amount of dislike, the amount of disdain, and the amount of fear that all digital gaming kind of has going on right now. And it's not really misplaced, it's not misguided. It's kind of there and it's kind of understandable. I mean, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a great example of why people are so distrustworthy of the digital age. I completely get it. Okay? I completely get it. But I will never sit here and I will never be fanboying or damage controlling something that is clearly factual. Stadia needs, damn near is required at this point to get a much bigger, more diverse, more enriched gaming library of content. There is so much shit that is missing from Stadia for them to be a relevant player in the gaming community that it is at this point in time very just sickening to me, okay? I offer Google Stadia for 60 days on my channel. I understand not a lot of people watch it, and that's okay. If you have Stadia Pro and you're commenting on this video, if you're not out there promoting Stadia Pro, you're not letting people, you're not having conversations about Stadia, you're not helping with some of the misinformation that Google themselves have put out there because of the fact nobody really knows what they want from this, whether they want it to be a full service or a cloud console. If you're not doing any of that, please keep your opinions to yourself, okay? I want to see Google Stadia do great. I want to see them actually be competition. Right now, xCloud is killing it and it's undefeated. There is no competition for Game Pass. And Game Pass for $15 a month, $5 more than Google Stadia Pro, has xCloud, a game streaming service, included. And it's not terrible. So, I mean, you can do with that how you want. And you can be upset at me for saying Google Stadia needs more content. But Google Stadia needing more content is one of the smallest issues with Google Stadia. Like I said, I voiced that I have had issue with games performing on Google Stadia. And I said it was Mafia 3 for one and Darksiders 2. That's not to say that I haven't seen really fucked up game footage of Cyberpunk 2077. I've played it. We've seen it together. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's odd that Cyberpunk 2077 runs better than the older games. And heads up, I have this same beef with Rockstar right now. How the fuck can ports of PS2 games not even be remotely competent on the Nintendo Switch? I'm not mad at the games, I'm mad at the fucking company because it says more about this company and its incompetence than it does about the games. These developers know the Switch is underpowered. These games can run on your most basic of 2012 fucking phones. Okay? There is no reason the Switch version of these games should be as bad as it is. The Switch is, what, 5 times more powerful than a PS2? Some shit like that? There's no reason these games should be this terrible. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Panic Button deserves all the credit in the world for what they have done this generation with the Nintendo Switch. And I will always say that. Maybe Take-Two Studios, maybe Rockstar Games, you should have went to Panic Button. Maybe we would have got a decent port and not this bullshit ass fuck up. Because I don't know about any of you guys if you have a Nintendo Switch, but if you own a Nintendo Switch and Take-Two, 2K, Rockstar, Bethesda, these are companies that you don't have issue with because their games are shit on the Nintendo Switch, yet you get ports of games that are made by a company like Panic Button and they run great and perform great. They're not perfect, but they do run substantially better than what you thought. If you can't see that, I can't help you. All right. Again, I just wanted to say this because I felt like it needed to be said. It's not that I don't like Stadia. I would not stay subscribed to them for over a year if I didn't like them. I actually think cloud gaming is amazing. It reminds me of the first time I played on a Game Boy. I couldn't believe what I saw, let alone what I was doing. It blew my mind. Cloud gaming is that again. This is amazing to me that I'm walking around and able to play a game like Cyberpunk 2077 through cloud gaming on my cell phone. I don't know how anybody doesn't think that is fucking amazing. It doesn't matter that Cyberpunk 2077 is a shit game. That doesn't matter. Whether it is or isn't even a fucking debate. What is amazing is the fact that I can play this game on my cell phone or on my tablet and not have to play it on just a television or a computer. That is mind blowing to me. Yet you want to focus more on the fact that I said Cyberpunk 2077 is or is not a good game. That's what you would rather focus on. This is why we have a problem. You're picking keywords out so you can argue these factors. How about getting the whole message? The overall message here, Stadia absolutely needs more games, more stable games, especially when it comes to their older games. They need to be stabler. They need to be one of the most stable fucking games you'll ever play. They need a more diverse library as well. I'm not saying their library is, fucking not diverse enough. I'm just saying they need more. And that's not up for debate. They need more. I need them to have as much as possible. The more they have, the more willing I'm going to spend my money with them. The more Stadia offers in their online store, whether it's on sale or it's just there, the higher the chance be that I spend my money on Google Stadia rather than Xbox or Nintendo Switch. But right now, I can't justify spending that much money on Google Stadia. There's not enough there. There's not. And what they do have, I either don't care about or already have. I don't care about Marvel's Avengers. I can play it on Game Pass. I don't care to play it on Game Pass. I'm not going to buy it on Stadia just because it's on Stadia. It's a game I don't care about. So, give me more options. I'm not saying you can't have Marvel's Avengers. I'm not saying you can't like that game. Excuse me. What I'm saying is, just give me more options. There's so little here. That is the message. I'm not saying I don't like Stadia. If I didn't like Stadia, I would not be subscribed. I would not offer you guys 60 days for free from a link that is in my description. I would not do that in every single video since last year. I would not do that. So, don't think I hate Google Stadia. I don't. I want to see Google Stadia be a legit competitor. I want to see Stadia be successful. That's what I want to see. And I don't see why it couldn't benefit from having more content. If you think Google Stadia can't benefit from having more content, chances are you don't like Google Stadia and you don't care that they exist. We are not the same. I don't hate Stadia. I just want more content. Give me more reasons to spend my money on you versus on Xbox or on PlayStation or on Nintendo. Give me more reasons. More content is more reasons. Having 103 games on sale at the exact same time, Xbox has 800 plus, Nintendo has 1200 plus, and PlayStation has anywhere between there. You are not a value competitor. You are not even remotely in the same realm of relevancy. Okay? That's just a fact. You are being outshined by the ones who you're supposed to be competing with, who offer stability with their games as much as they can. I'm not saying they're the most stable, but the fact you're downloading the game versus streaming means the game can play at a stabler rate. But that's kind of my point. You're not giving me enough options to purchase or spend money here versus Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo, where they have hundreds is the part you're missing. Hundreds of games, not just one and then three, not a 103, no, a 800 plus, a 1200 plus. That's more games, substantially, significantly more games than what is offered on Google Stadia. Because at 103 games on sale, if they're all the actual games, that is the entire fucking library of Stadia. Stop arguing. Because you personally have 100 games in your personal catalog. I'm not talking about your personal catalog. I'm talking about what's on sale in the Stadia store. I'm talking about the actual Stadia store as well, not just the online on sale part, because honestly right now the fact that there's only one game that I could buy if I wanted to spend money on any game in the Google Stadia on sale selection, it's one fucking game. One. O-N-E. Uno. One game. That's not me just making up something. That is a fact. That if you go look right now, on the 10th of January 2022, you look at Google Stadia's online sell games, there's two games. One of them I think is a game that has to do with like dirt kart racing or something like that. Not Dirt 5, but something like that, like a go-kart type game. And then the other one is a another indie title, and it's like Disc Jam or something like that. One of those. Those are the only two games on sale right now. And the fact that I pointed this out really upset Fanboy. And I'm not saying it to hurt Stadia. I'm saying it because that's all you're offering me when I have money to burn. I'm going elsewhere because there's more options. There's many more options. There's almost infinite options in comparison. I'm saying Stadia, give me reasons to turn you on, boot you up, and purchase a game and play the damn thing. That's what I'm saying. If you have a problem with that, maybe reconsider your train of thought. Maybe just consider I'm actually trying to help, not trying to hurt. Do you know the difference between constructive criticism and damage? Because I don't think you do. Until next time, guys. Actually, why have you? Let me talk about this because it bugs the shit out of me as well. Game Freak. What in the flyingest fuck? You mean to tell me you're taking Pokemon and you're going and you're using the Zelda Breath of the Wild formula to have this massive open world experience, but you're still trapped in the 90s because you don't want to add voice acting? Why? I'm sorry, but no, I'm not going to be as generous as Pokemon fans are. Fuck out of here. It is 2022. The year is 2022. 2022 is still right. But the point I'm making is it's not 1999. You're not on a handheld anymore. These are core consoles. The Switch can have a voice pack. You can put voice acting in the Pokemon game. Hell, Zelda had voice acting in it. Even though Link is a mute, Zelda still talked. The King still talked. They still had conversations. Not a whole lot, but enough. There is no reason for you to have what looks like text and or speech bubbles from what looks like fucking 1999, maybe 97 even, with Final Fantasy 7. Like, dude, why? How? And your thing is saying how much more you're going to need. How much more you're going to need. Every single Pokemon game since it ever came out has opened the same. Every Pokemon game has the exact same beginning. The tutorial over the past, oh my god, how many years, hasn't changed at all. I was playing Pokemon Sword, which is what you're watching now, is some gameplay of Pokemon Shield. I've played Ultra Moon, Ruby Red, Fire Red, Red, Yellow. Every one of them basically open up exactly the same, mirroring each other. If you are a Pokemon player, you don't need that stupid ass tutorial. You can cut the tutorial out of this new game and you can add in voice acting. You can put in an open range 3D environmental camera. There is no excuse for this game to look as big as it is and not have voice acting, not have full voice acting. This is ridiculous at this point, Game Freak. Is Nintendo starving y'all? Are you not making enough money? Like, what is the deal here? How is it this new Pokemon looks so good, yet you can't even voice act it? You cannot voice act this. And I don't understand why the community doesn't blow back on it as much as they should. Again, it's 2022, and Pokemon still just has basic little rares in it instead of actual characters with conversations and voice packs and and actually being able to connect on a deeper level. These characters, I don't get that attached to them because either A, I know how they sound in the anime, or B, I don't care, so they sound funny as hell in my head instead of how they should sound. That is the point. I'm not saying Pokemon's a bad game. I'm not saying this is a bad game. I'm just saying that there's clear things that I really wish Game Freak would start implementing, considering how much more power they have to work with versus the 3DS. And it's no longer a fucking Game Boy portable device. These are